Welcome back to the session on Calotes. In this presentation, we will be looking into the urinogenital system. So, urinogenital system is composed of both the excretory system and the reproductive system. So, firstly, we will see the excretory system of Calotes. In Calotes, a pair of metanephric kidneys are situated in the posterior portion of the abdominal cavity, and it is same in the case of both males and females. So, you can see here the elongated sac pair of kidneys, and here you can see that towards the anterior end the kidneys are separate, while towards the posterior end the inner margin of the kidneys are confluent at this joint. So the kidneys are lobed dark red in color, and it lies in close contact with the dorsal abdominal wall, and it is covered with peritoneum on the ventral surface only. As we have already seen, as we can see in the figure, the anterior end of the kidneys are free, while posterior ends are united around the inner margins. And from each kidney arises a duct, which is known as the ureter. Here you can find it, the ureter, this one. Okay. And here in the female, this is the ureter. It is usually towards the posterior end. It opens posteriorly into the urogeal part of cloaca. The cloaca, it is formed of three parts, that is proctodeum, urodium, copodium, and it is the urodium which receives the ureter. And a urinary bladder, you can see here a thin walled sac. It opens into the cloaca on its ventral side. And the kidney, it is composed of you can see that when we take up when we study the tissue structure, each kidney, it is formed of a middle portion known as the medulla and peripheral portion the cortex. And the cortex, it contains a number of Malpighian corpuscles, while the medulla, it is formed of, or it consists of renal tubules and collecting tubules. From the Malpighian tubules in the cortical region, it is formed of a double-walled Bowman's capsule, which encloses glomerulus. The glomerulus is constituted by arterial capillaries, and from the Bowman's capsule arises renal tubule. Now, the renal tubule, it enters the medullary region. Okay, and the renal tubule communicates with the collecting duct, which open into the ureter. So we have already, it is already mentioned that the collecting ducts, the renal tubule as well as the collecting tubules, both are present in the medullary region. Okay, and the ureter, it usually drains off the urine, which is semi-solid in consistency and contains more amount of uric acid, and hence the Calotes, it is uricotelic in nature. So that is about the excretory system. Now regarding the you can see sexes are separate in Calotes but not easily distinguishable externally. Sexual dimorphism is not so clear. When we look into the male reproductive system of Calotes, we can see that in males, the pair of testes present, and testes are two oval white bodies, and the right testis is slightly anteriorly placed. And these two testes are attached to the dorsal body wall by a fold of peritoneum, and this is known as the mesothelium. The peritoneum is known as the mesothelium. The testes undergo drastic change in size. In the breeding period, they increase in size, while in non-breeding period, they reduce in size. From the inner side of each testis arises the epididymis. You can see here the coiled one, and it continues as a convolute vas deferens. And this vas deferens, it joins with the ureter on its side, and it forms a urinogenital duct. And this urinogenital duct opens into the cloaca. And hence urinogenital duct, it is a common duct for both reproductive system and excretory system, and it drains both the urine as well as sperms. Okay, now this is about the reproductive system of males. When we look into the female reproductive system, it is composed of a pair of ovaries, and these ovaries are attached to the abdominal wall, dorsal abdominal wall, by a fold of peritoneum which is known as mesovary. Okay, it is a fold of peritoneum which connects the ovaries or attaches the ovaries with the dorsal abdominal wall. And the ovary is associated with an oviduct on its side. Each oviduct has you can see a broad funnel-shaped area that is known as the oviductal funnel, and the opening of the oviductal funnel is what is referred as the ostium. The oviduct it stretches from the oviductal funnel to the placa. The anterior end of each oviduct is wide, funnel-shaped, ciliated, lie close to the corresponding ovary, and both oviducts open into the urodeum, a little in front of the ureters. The eggs are extruded into the body cavity from the ovary once eggs are matured. It is released into the body cavity, and from there it is sucked into the oviductal funnel and pass into the oviducts. The lower part of each oviduct is slightly dilated. It is known as the uterus, and here the eggs are stored for a short period of time before laying. The walls of the oviducts are glandular in nature, and their anterior end bears albumin glands, and the posterior part bears the shell glands. And on its way, when the eggs are stored in the actually uterus, the egg is being provided with extra layers of albumin as well as shell. Now, fertilization of egg takes place in the anterior part of the oviduct, so it is internal fertilization, and eggs are heavily yolked and are enveloped by calcareous shells which are laid by the shell gland. So this is about the reproductive system of female. So we saw the excretory system and then the reproductive system in male and female. Okay, right. So with this, the urogenital system is complete.